Shalom. We are up to Perek Chaf in Shmuel Aleph. And once again, David is now a fugitive because Shaul is trying to kill him. Shaul is possessed by a Ruach Ra, a spirit of melancholy, depression, anger, frustration, rejection. Shaul is a very complicated situation because he feels that Hashem has rejected him and he is angry and jealous of David. Things are complicated because David's best friend is Shaul's own son, Yaina's son, and David's wife is Shaul's own daughter, Michal. Vayivrach David minayos berama. So David had rendezvoused with Shmuel, but David now runs away from Nayos and Ramah, where Shmuel was. Vayavo vayomer lifnei Yainasan, and he meets his best friend Yainasan. Now remember, Yainasan had negotiated a shavua that Shaul would not harm David, but after that shavua, Shaul tried to kill him. So David says to Yainasan, what have I done wrong? What is my sin? What is my crime in front of your father? That he wants to kill me. Why does he want to kill me? So here too, Yainasan kind of is in denial. You will not die. My father does not do a big thing or a small thing without telling me. And he did not tell me he's looking for you. Of course, he is looking for him, and he didn't tell Yonasan. Why would my father not tell me about this? And David made an oath that you just don't understand the matzav. Your father knows that I have found favor in your eyes. Your father doesn't want you to know, because he knows how sad you would be. I swear by Hashem and by your own life. Ki kapesa beini ubein hamaves. There is only a little step between me and death. I am a marked man. Your father wants to kill me, even if you are ignorant of that and you think everything is okay. Vayomer Yehonasan el David, ma tomar nafshecha v'eselach. So what do you want me to do? Yonasan said to David. Vayomer David el Yonasan. So David said to Yehonasan, Hine Chodesh machar. Tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. This is Erev Rosh Chodesh. V'anoichi yoshev eshev im hamelech le'achol. Normally, Shaul would make a big seuda on Rosh Chodesh. Perhaps they brought korbanos as well, because bamos were permitted. And I, David, I normally eat with your father at the festive Rosh Chodesh meal. But I don't want to do this because he may kill me there. V'shilachtani, I want you to send me away. Give me permission not to go. V'nistarti basadeh, and I will hide in a field ado erev hashlishis, until the third evening, meaning to say we're going to see that Rosh Chodesh for that particular month was in fact observed 2 days. In other words, the month was a mole. So day 30 was the first day of Rosh Chodesh, which was the 30th day of the old month. And then day 31 was the first day of the new month. So David says, I will be gone for both days of Rosh Chodesh until the third evening from now. Im pakod yifkadeni avicha. If your father notices that I'm gone and makes a comment about it, V'amarta, you should tell your father. In other words, if your father asks you, why aren't I at the Rosh Chodesh meal? You should say, Nishol mimeni David larutz beis lechem iro. David had asked permission from me to go to Beis Lechem, his ancestral city, the city of Yishai. They're bringing a special korban for all of the family. It is a family gathering for that particular Rosh Chodesh, and that's why he's not there. So David is asking Yonasan, please give your father this excuse. Now, Imko Yaimar, if in response to this excuse, Shaul says, Tov, great, then I know, Shalom li'avdecha, then I know that I'm okay, and I could return. But Imchara Yecharelo, but if your father gets upset, I know he was planning on killing me, Da, you, Yonasan, should know, Ki kol sahara me'imo, that he is planning something bad against me. So he's telling Yonasan, this is how you will know what your father's feelings about me are. V'yasisa chesed al avdecha, and please continue to do chesed to your servant. This is Yonasan talking. This is David talking to Yonasan. Ki bebris Hashem evesas avdecha imach. We made a covenant in the presence of Hashem. V'yim yesh bi avayin, if I've done something wrong, hamiseni atah, kill me now. V'yad avicha lamazeh teviyeni, do not deliver me to your father. Do not turn me in. V'yayimer Yahainasan chalilalach, God forbid, ki im yadoa eida ki kol sarah me'im avi, lavo elecha v'lo asa agidlach, that if I discover that my father is thinking bad about you, I will certainly tell you, so you'll know to hide. I will not entrap you and tell you things are okay. Vayayimer David el Yonasan, mi yagidli, who will get the message to me? O ma yancha avicha kasha, if your father gives a difficult answer. Vayayimer Yonasan el David, lecha v'neitzei asadeh. Let's go and talk in a field, in an isolated place. Vayetzu shneim asadeh, they both went out to a field. Vayayimer Yonasan el David, Hashem Elokei Yisrael ki echkar esavi ko eis machar hashlishis. I will speak to my father, and on the third day, meaning the 2 days of Rosh Chodesh, on the third day, on the day after Rosh Chodesh, Hine Toiv el David, I will get you word if it's good news, safe for you to return or not. V'lo az eshlach elecha, I will somehow send for you. V'galisi esaznecha, and I will give you the news. V'cho yasa Hashem li'yonasan v'cho yosef, and may God punish me. Ki yetiv el avi asara alecha, that if it is good in my father's eyes to do something bad to you, v'galisi esaznecha, I will give you that news as well. V'shilachticha, and I will send you away. Meaning, David is potentially afraid that Yonasan will tell him to go to Shaul when Shaul is planning on killing him. So Yonasan is swearing, if there's good news, I will tell you to come back. And if there is bad news, I will send you away. Vayihi Hashem imach, and Hashem will be with you. Kasher haya imavi, as he was with my father, meaning I know that you're going to be melech. V'lo yimodenu chai, v'lo yisasa imodi chesed Hashem v'lo yamus. That I'm not only asking that when I'm alive you should do chesed for me, but I'm asking for more. Lo tachris es chastecha me'im beisi ad olam. That I'm not only asking that when you become king, you have rachamim and chesed and kindness for me, but that there be a covenant with all of my children, all of my descendants. V'loi b'achris Hashem es oivei David ish me'al pnei adama. And that when God eventually cuts off all of your enemies, may you still continue to have chesed to all of my bias. Vayichreis Yonasan in Beis David, and Yonasan once again made a covenant of friendship and loyalty with David. Ubikesh Hashem miyad oivei David, and may Hashem, Yonasan said, seek vengeance on all of the enemies of David. So Yonasan is essentially not just adopting David as a friend; he is pledging loyalty to David, as the Melech Yisrael. V'yosef Yonasan lashpias David, and Yonasan urged David to swear loyalty to him, bi'avaso out of his great love. Ki avas nafsho ahevo, he loved him like he loved his soul. Now the next psukim are very familiar to people. This is actually the Haftarah that we read when Shabbos is Erev Rosh Chodesh. And because Machar Chodesh, right? Because this is Erev Rosh Chodesh in the story here. Vayomer lo Yonasan. So now they're finalizing their plans. Machar Chodesh. Tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. V'nifkadeta. And you will be noticed, ki yipaked moshavecha, because your seat will be vacant. My father is going to ask me where you are. Vishi lashta. And you should hide for these 3 days, meaning today, first day Rosh Chodesh, second day Rosh Chodesh. Be in hiding for 3 days. Tered me'od. Ubasa el hamakom asher nistarta sham b'yom ha'maisa. And you should hide in the same place you hid Yom HaMaisa, the earlier times that Shaul tried to kill you. V'yashavta eitzel even ha'azel. And you should sit next to the stone. Even ha'azel, Rashi says, means a big stone that was a landmark that would help people who were walking to know where they were. Again, those from who learned in yeshivas know that Rav Yisrael Zalman Meltzer, Rav Aaron Kotler's father-in-law, called his sefer on the Rambam Even Ha'azel. It is the stone that gives help to people that are lost, and that's what Even Ha'azel means here. And Yonasan says, and I will come to you, come to that field, come to that hiding place on the 3rd day, meaning the day after Rosh Chodesh. V'ani shaloishes achitzim tzida oira. And I will be doing target practice. I will shoot 3 arrows. L'shalach li l'matara, to a target. V'hine eshlach es anar, and I will take my attendant and I will say, Leich mitzvahs achitzim, go and retrieve my arrows. Now David is hiding near the Even Ha'azel, so he's going to hear what Yonasan says. So Yonasan tells him the following. Im omar lanar, hine hachitzim mimcha v'heina. If I tell the nar who is looking for the arrows are closer to me, come closer, then that's a sign for you that it's safe for you to come back. Kochena, you yourself can bring the arrows, ubaya, and come to me, because that is a sign, and I don't know how my father's going to react, but if my father reacts positively, the sign I will give you is the arrows are closer. Ki shalom lecha ve'ein davar chai Hashem. V'yim kai aymar li'elam, but if I tell the young boy, hine hachitzim mimcha v'hala, that the arrows are further out, that is a sign to you. It is dangerous. Shaul is going to kill you. Do not come back. Lech, go. Ki shilachacha Hashem, because it is Hashem's will that you leave. So this is the prearranged signal that they make. V'adavor asher dibarno ani v'yata, and the promises that we made, that I pledge loyalty to you and you pledge friendship to me and to my children. Hine Hashem beini uvein chad olam, may God be between us forever and ever. Okay, so this is the prearranged signal. David is in hiding. Yonasan goes back to his father Shaul. Vayisaser David basadeh, David is concealing himself in the field. Vayi achodesh, it's now Rosh Chodesh. Vayeshev hamelech el halechem lechol, and the king is sitting down for a banquet, a fancy feast in which there are many, many honored guests. Vayeshev hamelech al moshavo kapam b'pam, and the king is sitting in his normal seat. El Moshav Akir, his back is to the wall. Remember, kings always sat that way because that way they could not be stabbed in the back. Vayakam Yonasan, and Yonasan got up to serve his father. Vayeshev Avner, Avner is Shaul's general and also his nephew. And Avner, who is a tzaddik and a Talmid Chacham, sat next to Shaul. Vayipakeit Makom David. Everybody was at their seats, but David HaMelech's seat was vacant. So interestingly enough, on the first day of Rosh Chodesh, which is the 30th day of the month, Shaul didn't say anything. Loi diber Shaul ma'uma b'yaymahu. That day, Shaul did not say anything because he figured David might have had an excuse. What was the excuse? Ki amar mikrehu bilti toharhu. Ki loi tahor. Maybe David had tashmish with his wife, Michal. He would be a Balkari today. A Balkari is not allowed to eat a korban, so he didn't come because he'd be tamei. But a Balkari is only tamei for one day, so if he's tovel today, he'll be tor at night. So I expect him tomorrow. Apparently these were day meals, but today he has an excuse. He is bilti tahor. But now it was the second day of Rosh Chodesh. Now the second day of Rosh Chodesh is actually day 1 of the new month, because day 30 actually belongs to the old month. And once again, David's seat was vacant. And now Shaul is a little concerned what's going on. Vayomer Shaul el Yehonas and Benai. Madua lo ba ben Yishai gam tamail gam hayayim el halachem. Meaning, if he's not here today, I wonder why he wasn't there yesterday. And Shaul said to Yonasan, why didn't Ben Yishai come today and yesterday to the meal? So Yonasan gives the excuse that David told him to say, that David went to his family in Beis Lechem for a Seudah, and he had to bring a family korban, so he couldn't make it. Vayan Yonasan Nishal David miodi ad Beis Lechem. David was requested to go to Beis Lechem. Vayomer, and he said to me, he asked my permission, Shalcheni na, please let me go. Ki zevach mishpacha lanu ba'ir. We have a special korban that the whole family is bringing. V'hu tziva li achi, and my brothers asked me to come. V'ata imatzasi chen b'einecha. This is quoting. In other words, Yonasan is saying what David said. If I have found favor in your eyes, imoltano, let me leave, v'yera es achai, so I can see my brothers. And now Yonasan turns to his father and says, Al kain lo ba el shulchan hamelech. That's why he's not here. He's in Beis Lechem. Shaul understands, or he doesn't want to accept this. He understands this is a pretense, this is a makeup, this is a prearranged plan where his own son is helping his enemy escape. Vayichar af Shaul bi Yonasan, and Shaul is now furious at his own son Yonasan. Vayomer lo ben avas hamardus. You are the son of a rebellious mother, meaning you're not my son. You got your rebelliousness and your chutzpah from your mother. Again, it's not so much that he wants to blame the mother, but he wants to disassociate himself from his son. So since you only have two parents, if I'm not at fault, it must be Ima's fault. You are the son of a rebellious, arrogant mother. Halo yadati ki beicher atale ben Yishai levashtecha ulebaishes ervasimecha. I know that you have chosen Ben Yishai over me and over your own family, lebashtecha, to your eternal shame, and to the baishes, again, it's a bit of an indelicate expression, of the nakedness of your mother. In other words, your mother was exposed in order to conceive you, right? She was conceived through a tashmish, and now you have brought a shame to her. Ki kol hayamim asher ben Yishai chai ol adama. As long as Ben Yishai is alive in this world, lo tikon ato umalchusecha, your kingdom will never be established. V'yata, you know where he is. Shalach v'kacho so elai, bring him to me. Ki ben mavesu. He's going to die because he's a mayred b'malchus. And once again, Yonasan is probably surprised to hear these words, and he tries to defend his friend. Vayan Yehonasan es Shaul aviv, and Yonasan says to Shaul, his father, Vayomer elav lama yumas maza. Why should he die? What did he do? And now, before Shaul had thrown the spear at David, and now you can see the matzav is so gefährlich. Vayotal Shaul es achanis alav lahakaisai. Shaul took the spear, and he was ready to kill his own son. And at this point, Yonasan is no longer naive. Vayeda Yonasan ki kolo hi me'im aviv la'amit es David. He now knows that his father is determined to kill David no matter what. Vayakam Yonasan me'im ha'shulchan b'char. I mean, imagine how other people die. They see a father about to kill his son. And Yonasan leaves the table with fury. He couldn't even eat on this second day of Rosh Chodesh. Netzav el David. Number one, he is tremendously saddened over David, and ki yechlimu aviv. And he's tremendously hurt at the shame and humiliation that he felt, that his father was willing to kill him. So it's really two different things. One is his pain over David, and the other is the pain of what his father was going to do to him. It is interesting that the pasuk mentions David first, as if to say the pain over David is even greater than his own personal pain. Vahiba Biker. So the next morning, this is the day after Rosh Chodesh, Beis of the month. Vayetze Yonasan asada l'mayeh David. Yonasan goes out to the field in the prearranged time for David. V'nar katan ima, he has a boy to retrieve his arrows. Vayomer l'narei rutz mitzal nasachitza v'sher nochi mayra. He said to the young boy, it is your job that when I shoot arrows at targets, you are to retrieve the arrows and bring them back to me. Hanar rutz v'yara chetzi lavirai. And as the young boy would run to get the arrows, Yonasan would shoot the arrows. And when the young man would get to the area where the arrows were shot, Yonasan called out, Vayomer, Halo achetzi mimcha v'hala. The arrows are beyond you. Keep on going. Remember, that was the sign to David. To run away, it's not safe. In fact, he was even emphatic. He didn't only say, it's further than you, keep on going, but Mehera, run, Chusha, hurry up. Al Tamo, don't stay still. And the young boy did retrieve the arrows. And he brought it back to Yonasan. The young boy didn't know anything that was going on. He didn't know that this was a signal to David. He didn't know that there was a David hiding. Yonasan and David, they knew what was going on. Yonasan gave all of his weapons, his arrows, his bow, to the young boy. And he then dismissed him. He says, we're finished for the day. Lech havei ha'ir. Go and bring them to the city. Hanar ba. The young boy left. And now David comes out of hiding for the final meeting of David and Yonasan before David becomes a fugitive. A final embrace. Hanar ba. When the young man left, or the young boy left, David come me'etzel hanegev. David got up from the south. He was in the southern direction. Vayipa li'apa v'artza. He fell on his face. Vayishtachu shalosh pa'amim. He bowed in gratitude 3 times. Vayishku ish esreyehu. And each person kissed the other person. Vayibku ish esreyehu. and each person was sobbing and weeping. Ad David higdil. But David was weeping even more. Of the two, David was weeping more. Vayomer Yehoshua son LeDavid, Lech Lishalom. May you go towards peace. Again, when you're nifter from a chai, from a person alive, you say Lech Lishalom. May you go towards peace, meaning may you go towards a peaceful place. With a mace, you say Lech Bishalom. This is Lech Lishalom. Asher nishbanu shenenu anachnu b'shem Hashem lemor. We have sworn in the name of God. Hashem yiyeh beini ubeinecha. May God be between you and I. May we always have the Shekhinah with us. And not only you and I, but our children. Bein zari ubein zarecha. May Hashem bless us. May Hashem protect us. Ad olam. May it be forever. This, as I said, is the end of the Haftarah that we read when Shabbos is Erev Rosh Chodesh, because the Haftarah begins with Machor HaChodesh. Tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. Ad kan.